Hello world, Cossy here. Now by now you've probably watched my Pacific Rim review and realised that I absolutely love that movie. The thing is, my enthusiasm for that movie actually makes me think that a lot of other franchises could benefit from its success. Now, first of all, it has kaiju, giant monsters, and there are giant monster movies in development, in particular a Western Godzilla film. Now, I'm a huge fan of the Godzilla franchise. I grew up watching Japanese sort of 50s, 60s Godzilla movies as a kid on television and fell in love with all those fantastic characters. Kaiju movies in particular are brilliant, and now we finally have the technology and hopefully the people involved in the industry who can push it forward and make brilliant Western modern kaiju movies that will grab the attention of people and get them into cinemas. Now, let's forget that Godzilla film that was made in the 90s because that was dire, and let's get something akin to what we've seen in Pacific Rim, a fantastic Godzilla movie, and then spin off into other fantastic kaiju movies. Secondly, mecha films. Now, the giant robots, the mecha in the actual Pacific Rim, reminded me of a lot of franchises I love. Things like the Gundam franchise, which is an anime that you should all go and watch. In particular, Gundam Wing, which is my favourite of the series, which is ripe for a big budget TV series, live action one, or an actual film series. It has fantastic characters. It has giant robots that fight on Earth and in space and huge consequences and political backgrounds. It's brilliant. Also, a cartoon that I grew up watching as a kid, Robotech, which is fantastic. Also a mecha series. There were a number of animated movies as well. That would be perfect for this form of movie. Also, a game that I played a lot of as a child and still do sometimes play, Battletech. Now, some of you may know it as MechWarrior from the video games, which was actually the name of the role-playing game for the series. But Battletech had an animated series in the 90s, which didn't really take off, despite the fact it has so much potential for TV and movies. Now, there is a brilliant, huge universe of Battletech that goes from the games into novels, into the TV series, that are perfect to be adapted into a movie. This shows just what you could do with Pacific Rim with a Battletech series. I mean, some of the actual robots in Pacific Rim looked just like the mechs from Battletech, and it's fantastic. It does also show that the Transformers series could have been so much better had it not been in the hands of Michael Bay. Michael Bay, as I've said before, knows how to make explosions and women run in slow motion, but he can't capture emotion and an audience in the same way that Guillermo del Toro did with this movie. If we had someone else in charge of the Transformers franchise, imagine how good it could be. Third and finally, original, big budget, blockbuster action and sci-fi movies. Now, I'm not talking about adaptations. Not that they're a bad thing. I'm a huge comic book fan, and I think that we should continue to adapt comic book movies because they're fantastic in the right hands. But originality is important in Hollywood. Look at what's going on at the moment. There's a trend of remaking and rebooting movies constantly. If we don't have originality, what's the future of Hollywood going to be? They'll have nothing to reboot and remake. Joking aside, we need originality in Hollywood, and we need films that are not all grounded in gritty reality. We need that balls to the wall, big budget, suspend your disbelief, be drawn into this completely different universe that isn't too far away from where we are. Well done, Pacific Rim, for that. But is far enough away that we know it's not entirely real. And if you don't do this, Hollywood, you are going to lose a huge market. Trends of making remakes and reboots will only last so long. The love for comic book movies, sadly, I think will only last so long. You need to look for original content. Okay guys, this is one of those subjects I could have gone on forever about, but I'll leave it there. If you can think of anything that you'd like to see coming out of Pacific Rim, then leave me a comment or a video response below. Click that like button to let me know that you like this. Subscribe to the channel to see all of my new videos. If you missed the actual video that came before this, my review for Pacific Rim, it's there, and my review for Man of Steel is there. And until next time, au revoir.